Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett, and in this video, we are talking all about interior design trends that I think are already dated and we don't want to see in 2025. Now, the first thing that I think is dated that we're done seeing, that I'm over personally, I've talked about it before, is the whitewashed oak floor. Listen, I love white oak. I love red oak. I like cherry too. I'm so tired of seeing a white floor. Like, it's wood, but then it's got like basically what is a white stain on it, and it's just not giving. It's just not giving anything. Okay, if wood is not white, like painted wood is white, so why not just get wood floors and then paint them? Or why not get something that's actually white? Like, why not just do a white tile? Like, why is it got to be white wood looking floors? I just don't think this is the thing. I just don't like it. I'm tired of seeing it, and I don't think it really elevates anything. I think it just completely washes a space out, if I'm being honest. I think you have such an opportunity to do something great with wood. You can really define a style or create some depth and add some interest with the flooring materials you're choosing. And it doesn't matter the color. Like, if you want to do white carpet, that's fine, do white carpet. If you want to do something that's a little darker, you want to go with a dark wood, or if you're like, hey, you know what, I want tile, you have so many opportunities there to do something, but like, why's it gotta be a whitewashed white oak floor? And white oak is already expensive. So why are we gonna take the expensive white oak, ruin it, by staining it white, when you could have just gotten like a white tile to begin with, or gotten a normal colored wood floor and then put a white rug on it. Now, the whole thing with the whitewashed white oak floor was that it adds a lot of brightness, because white has a lot of light reflectance value. It bounces a lot of the light off, so it makes the space look really bright in it, which is great, and we love that, but you don't always have to go for what's gonna make it the most bright space and light space, because usually spaces that are designed purely to be bright during the day don't look that good at night. They don't have that kind of softness, that character, that layered feeling that we need to have when we're just using artificial lighting. So I pray that we will not see any of the whitewashed white oak floor in 2025. I think we're ready to leave it in the past and be done with it, and let this be your warning call. Don't come on a consultation call with me talking about, oh, we're going to do whitewashed white oak floor, because I will say, like, yeah, maybe we should think of something else. I think that's a mistake. And that's the whole thing I want you to remember also, is that if you are doing any decorating and designing in your home, I am at your service. Sometimes you just don't know what you're thinking about doing, or you just like, am I going to make a mistake? Is it going to be trendy? Is it going to be timeless? Or, you know, what creative solution can I come up with for this? I have got those answers for you. You can always book a one-on-one virtual consultation with me. We can talk about any and all of your interior design and decorating needs, and you can get some of those tough questions answered, whether it's something small or simple as, I'm looking for new curtains, or what sofa should I buy, or we're gutting and renovating a kitchen. I've got the answers for you. So check out that link in the description box down below, or go to intro.co/GarrettLeChic. Now, a trend I think we're going to say goodbye to, leave in the past, we're not going to be super into it in 2025, is actually black hardware. Now, I don't have an issue with black hardware necessarily. What I have an issue with is when everything is white and then we have like this crisp, stark black contrast there on it, and that's all the space is giving. So, you know, I think black hardware, people are finding that it was a big trend, and so it kind of had its viral moment. You saw it everywhere, especially with the modern farmhouse. And now we're at a place where we're like, hey, you know, maybe let's move into something else, more like a bronze or a brushed nickel. Those are starting to become more popular. Even brass is starting to fall a little bit on the wayside there. So I think that's okay. I don't think we're going to see as many people doing black hardware and accents in 2025. Now, there are some people that are, you know, building homes, or they're currently designing projects. They've already made those selections and they're going to stick with it. So you'll see a little bit of that, a transition there, but I just think that black hardware is falling out of popularity. I don't think there's anything wrong with it though. Let me get that point across. I just think it's kind of a thing where people just did so much of it that they got a little tired of it. And if you have this in your space, you know, make sure it's in little bits and sprinkles here and there. And you can do a little black accent moment. Like, you know, I have this black lamp behind me, I have this black frame, but that's not the overwhelming majority of hardware in my home, or accents or accessories are black. And I think that's what black is. It's a pop, it's a moment, it's a special little feature and a detail that should have its moment, but it can be so overwhelming that you don't want to put it necessarily everywhere. And if I'm being honest, I think black is better used in one bold moment in a space. Paint your front door black. Do a black oversized baby grand piano. Oh, I love that. I had a client actually she has a cherry kitchen and the island was a little different. We were like, let's paint the whole thing black. Let's paint the whole island black. She has black countertops. Very chic, very sophisticated, very interesting because it just creates a lot of good depth. But you know, if you have like a little hardware on the cabinetry, fine. I just wouldn't put black against like a crisp, stark white. I think that's too much contrast. But if you have an off-white or something softer, it doesn't have that big of an impact or like a statement moment. It's not too harsh of a contrast. And I think that works. Like behind me, this wall is an off-white, yet I have a black picture frame and a black lamp. And it doesn't read as being like, those are the statement moments, that the only thing you see, the highest contrast, because the white is not a glaringly sharp white. It's a soft, warm, off-white color. I just don't think it'll be done as much anymore as we've previously seen in the last few years. Something else we have to address and talk about, and what I think we're not going to see anymore in 2025, or not so much of, is the hate on the color gray. So whenever I talk about gray, people are always like, no, I hate gray, I don't like it, because gray can be so drab. Gray can be so depressing, which, you know, it is. Like, that's what gray is, which is fine. I think we will start to see more people add gray into their spaces in really good ways. Right now, we're not so into these cool tone spaces. We haven't been for a number of years, and we won't be, you know, in 2025 either. Nobody wants all gray everything. No, we're done with that. Gray is a nice contrast. Gray is a wonderful color that has a lot of depth to it and versatility. So I think we will start to see more gray used as accents in spaces. Think your sofa in a really warm tone space, or an accent chair. I think that can be really good. If it's strategically placed as an accent wall color, or like, you know, just gray in a hallway, that can be a good place for it. I think gray and camel together, that's a really, really good color combination that looks rich, it looks layered, it's very strong, it has a slightly masculine undertone to it, which I think lends a space to having a sense of informality, and I like that as well. A gray accent I think we're gonna see in 2025. So what we're not gonna see is the hate towards gray so much. I think there are still people that are traumatized by it, that don't wanna see it, that they don't like it, they would rather see an actual color, but a lot of people are getting away from these really simple and basic color schemes, like black and white. It's just not super popular anymore, but having a little gray moment in there can serve as a nice accent. It has a great depth to it, and adds a refined sensibility to a color palette also, which I think is so interesting. And I think when gray used strategically is not necessarily a trend. It can be very classic and very timeless, so be on the lookout for it if you're adding anything new to your space. And I think that's what it takes to achieve great design, is having an open mind. And something else that will help you to achieve great design in your home is becoming a part of our LeChic family. Don't be fake. Hit the subscribe button. You've made it this far in the video. You're obviously seeing some great value in the content, and we would love to have you here as a part of our LeChic family. All it takes is hitting that subscribe button. It costs you absolutely nothing, which everybody loves. I would also greatly appreciate it if everyone that's watching could help me to defeat YouTube's algorithm by giving this video a like. Getting these videos out to as many people as possible is so important right now, because we are trying to save the world from terrible design, one home at a time. Speaking of terrible design and things we're not gonna see in 2025, that I'm pretty excited about, is people are getting away from the like all white and beige aesthetic, which I'm so excited about, because my eyes are glazing over just talking about this. I'm so tired of seeing spaces and homes where it's like, if it's not white, then it's beige. And if it's not beige, then it's white. And maybe there's an accent color of off beige. Like, no. We can't do it. We can't do it. We need to have more. We need to have more in a home, in a space. Like, it just needs to be interesting. It needs to say something about your personality. Like, what does an all white and beige space say about your personality? It's bland. It's giving oatmeal energy. I don't like that. I don't like it. I just need more. I need something else. We can embrace a little bit of something interesting. And if you're a person that you have all white and beige, and you're like, but Garrett, where do I start? Or Garrett, I don't know if I want to do that. Start with nature, natural elements. Start with a little bit of contrast. It doesn't have to be like paint everything fuchsia pink, like we can layer in camel tones, and then we can start layering in florals that have greenery in them. And now we're bringing some life into the space, a little bit of depth and interest. Maybe you throw in that gray accent there. That's a wonderful thing to bring into a space. And you know what? Nothing's wrong with bringing some brown into a space. That's a neutral. Okay, that's what you can do if you have like all white and beige. You like neutrals? That's your safe spot. Bring in some contrast, whether it's neutrals or actual color. Either or is fine, but like, just don't give us the sad beige aesthetic anymore. I think it's out for 2025. We're all tired of seeing it. My eyes are glazed over just talking about it. So let's leave it in the past and move on and move upward. The next thing that I don't think we're gonna see quite so much in 2025 is actually the wood look ceramic tile. And you know, I'm kind of indifferent towards it. I've given it a little bit of hate because when you have a wood look ceramic tile next to wood, it doesn't look good. It looks terrible. One does not look real while the other looks fake, but there's nothing wrong with a wood look ceramic tile. It's really durable, it's hard wearing, as long as it has a smooth surface, it's fine. I don't have any problem with it actually, as long as it looks kind of real, all right? And you know, has some good depth to it, has, you know, a nice repeat on the wood pattern on it. There's nothing wrong with it. That's fine. It's very hard wearing, actually. I just don't see it anymore. I don't see anybody using it. I really don't hear any of my clients talking about, I think vinyl plank happened to it. That's my conspiracy theory. I think vinyl plank flooring happened to it because vinyl plank has an association with being extremely hard wearing, which in certain regards it is. I don't think it's the #1 best material you can put on your floor for durability, but it's, you know, it's more durable than like, you know, a soft wood or carpet. So that's great, but it's also more affordable, easier to install than tile is. And it's less of a commitment because it could be taken up in a day or two, right? Like, and you can put something else in its place. So I just don't see a lot of the wood look ceramic tile. And I think it's super interesting. Like, it just kind of disappeared overnight almost. And if you already have it, I think it's a great material. It's beautiful and hard wearing, and don't rip it out. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not bad. I just don't know why we don't see more of it, and I don't expect to see more of it in 2025, which in some regards is unfortunate. In others, maybe people are putting actual wood floors in instead, or they're opting for something that is more hard wearing. I don't know what to say about it. I just don't quite see as much of it anymore. The next thing we have to talk about is postmodern overload. Postmodern is a wonderful period of time, and people love a lot of the pieces from it, myself included. Like, I love postmodern upholstery. I just think it's interesting. I think it's cool. It's kind of unexpected, but I think it's best used in accents within a space. And it really is Gen Z that's not gonna like this part because they love postmodern, but I think it's at its end. Okay, I think that we've kind of gotten to the place where like, yeah, it's cool and those little accents and accessories and fun moments in a space are great, but the overwhelming postmodern everything, it just feels like a crayon box. It's a little overwhelming. It's a little maximalist, which I think people are starting to tone down a bit. I don't think we're, you know, going to minimalism quite just this moment, but I think people are definitely toning it down and realizing that maybe it's a little bit more than we need to go for. I love a pop of color, an interesting moment. I love, you know, a postmodern style piece of furniture, but I think they have to be used sparingly. Postmodern seating and upholstery are great. I personally love them. You have postmodern tables, which have a certain refinement to them and I think blend into most spaces well. You also have accessories and decor and artwork. That's where I think we're going to see people toning down the whole vibe a little bit, because when you have every single thing the same style or the same thing, especially with postmodern, it can be a lot. Like, postmodern is very like 1990s, 1980s, 1990s, when things were just really loud and vibrant, which was fun then, but now we're at a place where people just are looking for a little bit more refinement, spaces that are a bit more relaxing. So toning things down a little bit's okay. And I would say instead of using a lot of little things when it comes to postmodern, and that's what I see a lot of, one larger element is much better and more impactful, but more refined. There's less busyness happening in a space. And I think that's a really good thing to keep in mind. Also, a lot of postmodern furniture, it was done in boucle. Like, I'm sitting on a postmodern style sofa in boucle. Boucle is out. I talked about this in a previous video. We're done with boucle. Like, the durability is just not there on it for most people unless you're using it in a very strategic place or way where it doesn't get a lot of use. It will age and will not look good in the long term. So, you know, boucle is nice, but it's put on a lot of modern production, postmodern pieces of furniture, and boucle is out. Therefore, a lot of those pieces of furniture will also be out. People are just moving on from it. They're looking for something a little different. I think this is a great time if you like these pieces, like a postmodern style furniture, artwork, accessory, decor. This is where you're going to start seeing people selling them on the Facebook marketplaces, at garage sales, yard sales, flea markets, those places. Thrift stores will have them, consignment stores. This is the time to take advantage of that and get on the trend, or take advantage of that trend that is now kind of falling out. At the end of the day, I think it's all about quality, and that's what matters first and foremost. If you're looking at something that is a little bit more of a trendy piece, quality has to come first, because that means it will last you a long time. And when your style becomes trending and things are really popular, a lot of these big box stores, they start going into production quickly and trying to cash in on it. So those pieces don't tend to be really, really great quality. So be on the lookout for quality first, and then we can talk about whether something will be timeless or not. Well, there you have it, everyone. Those are the trends that are out for 2025. Now let's talk about the ones that are in. Be sure you check out this video right here to learn all about the 2025 interior design trends that are going to be taking over, and I will see you over there.